Akins Ford Raptor, are you ready? The highly anticipated 2023 Akins Ford Raptor R is here, and my heart rate right now, just sitting here, I'm telling you all, is really high. My standing heart rate is through the roof because you just saw the amazing rollers as we introduced this amazing vehicle. And in this video today, it's a full-on review, inside and out, specs and all, of what makes this beast so impressive. Obviously, we're going to do some comparisons today between the TRX because that is really the vehicle that made Ford go ahead and open the door for a true super truck, and that's exactly what this is. A Generation 3 Ford Raptor has come to the full fruition with all its glory with a 5.2 liter supercharged V8, a unbelievable power plant. It's essentially the GT500 that has been transferred into the Raptor with different pulley sizes and other components to make it more truck capable and truck integrity strong. Now we're at 700 horsepower, 640 pound-feet of torque, and now I'm asking the same question, why not over 702? And we're at 650 as well with the TRX. The TRX comes in, it is a liter bigger. It's a 6.2 liter versus the Raptor R being a 5.2 liter. So very impressive Ford that we're able to get 700 horsepower out of less displacement, and our blower is 3.8 liters. It's a huge, massive blower. It looks so amazing. I've got an example right here. It's a paperweight with the GT500, essentially the same engine and blower just transferred right over into the Generation 3 Raptor. Truly epic. So in comparison, why not go over the 702? It's not about bragging rights. It really is as far as the mainstream consumers, but it's about integrity, and at 700 horsepower, 640 pound-feet of torque, it is all there. Just got through driving this unbelievable truck. It is sold, obviously, of course. We have many Raptor Rs coming to you down the road with our Indo Edition package, so stay tuned for that. But today, just keeping in the stock one. Owner of this truck is the most worthy person I know of owning this truck, so much props there. And a Gate Black, a beauty in itself. So going back to things like, why is it $30,575 more than the current Gen 3 with the 3.5 liter twin turbo bumped up EcoBoost at 450 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque? So going up 250 horsepower is a big deal, and a lot had to go into making this a safe and confident vehicle as far as your suspension components and of course your drivetrain. Some things that I like is taking a look at the 0 to 60, and 0 to 60 on the Raptor R is 3.6 seconds. On the TRX, it came in at 3.7. That's partly due to the 700 pound weight difference, give or take. So the Raptor comes in at right around 6,000 pounds, and the TRX is like 6,740 as tested. So that weight does make a big difference. Obviously, as you know, weight plays a big part into overall feel and performance. In the Raptor R versus the TRX, just still feels more nimble. You can definitely see that weight difference there. The TRX has always been impressive to me, but you definitely can feel more body roll and overall weight of that vehicle. So I like a 5-tool player, as you've heard me say so many times. The 5-tool player being one that it's got the power, it's got the amenities, it's got the convenience and safety features, it's got the suspension capability, and that agile feel that's going to give you confidence when you're on road or off road, Baja, or over here in the woods of Georgia. You've got a 5-tool player that gives you that feel that anything that you throw at it, it's going to be able to handle. And the TRX just doesn't quite give you that feel overall, even though it's a phenomenal vehicle. Now, base price, we're looking at $109,145. As tested, this one's $111,000, but the TRX comes in much cheaper at $86,450 as a base price there. But in comparison as well, because the comparison's all we got, y'all, the Cadillac Escalade V is much more expensive than even the Raptor R, and much more fun and capable, in my opinion. Now, overall, our quarter mile times also are at 12 seconds on the Raptor R and 12.3 in the TRX. So a marginal difference. but stopping from 70 to 0, you're at 205 feet in the Raptor R and 198 feet in the TRX. So stopping power is a little bit better improved on the TRX, but we're talking just a few feet, y'all, not a huge difference. Mile per gallon comparisons, we've seen, you know, in the 8 to 10 range on the TRXs from our consumers, and we feel like, and some people that we know that already got their hands on them, around 10 as well on the Raptor R. Now, if your boy Real Deal's driving it, we're probably coming in about 6, y'all. You know I'm beating that throttle on the daily, on the real. Hopefully I'm getting an Avalanche Gray. I'm truly blown away by it overall, and I cannot wait to get behind the wheel of my own personal one. We're gonna raise some cane in that thing. I'm telling you, it's gonna be unreal getting to experience that. But first, let's talk about some of the differences before we go out and get our hands-on look. The 2023 Ford Raptor R relies heavily on the Fox live valve semi-active suspension just to give you confidence and control over any terrain, especially harsh terrain. You know, all 3 generations of the F-150 Raptor have been inspired by the extreme desert racing trophy trucks that compete in the Baja 1000, and just driving the truck gives me that feel. I feel like I'm in a performance vehicle, whether I'm on-road or off-road, going to the grocery store or going on a camping trip. It is just designed by the engineers at Ford Performance. It is the ultimate Raptor. The Raptor R is the ultimate Raptor. It's the ultimate F-150. It's the ultimate truck to me that Ford's ever produced. The heart of the Raptor R is the 5.2 liter supercharged V8 pumping out 700 horsepower and 640 pound-feet of torque, but its soul is the incredibly capable suspension. The 5-link rear suspension features extra long trailing arms to better maintain axle position on rough terrain, a pan-hard rod, and 24-inch coil springs in the rear, all optimized for outstanding stability while traversing desert terrain at high speeds, or over here on the East Coast, maneuvering over obstacles such as railroad tracks or everyday off-roading on the Dread Georgia clay. Sitting on the F-150 Raptor, Bronco Raptor, and now Ranger Raptor, the advanced Fox live valve shocks are tuned to balance the Raptor R's ride quality and roll control on and off-road. These electronically controlled dampeners use suspension height sensors, and they have other sensors to monitor terrain conditions independently, like hundreds of times per second, y'all, while adjusting suspension tuning accordingly. It is adapting to your ever-changing conditions per second. It is an amazing suspension with 13 inches of suspension travel in the front and 14.1 in the rear. On 37s now is a factory standard option. The Bilsteins on the Ram TRX just can't compete with that, and they're on 35s as well, so the approach and departure angle is just not even really comparable to the Raptor R or standard Raptors. Now, the Gen 1 was a special unit. The Gen 2 was great as well, but the Gen 3 is truly epic because of the shock evolution. And when the live valve came out, I could definitely tell a difference in how that live valve system really was adaptive to your ever-changing conditions. Truly game changer. Ford said, in their words, "We've heard our customers demanding the sound and power of a V8 back in the Raptor." And yes, thank you, finally. That's not something that they were going to rush into, though, so it was a time period of just trying to power pair this with a 3rd generation and the new suspension and the shocks to deliver a 1-2 punch that was, you know, didn't leave you of any more to be desired. And they had to do some different valving and your spring rate changes in your Fox coilovers in the front and your shocks in the rear to make sure it could handle the added weight of that supercharged V8. And just saying that just gets me so incredibly pumped up. Each drive mode in the Raptor R is tuned to account for the added power of the supercharged V8, as I mentioned, including a optimized Baja mode for maximum performance and control in high-speed off-roading. A 5% increase in the front spring rate is what helps you maintain that, while the Raptor R boasts a class-leading 13.1 inches of ground clearance and the standard 37-inch tires straight from the factory. Nobody's doing that. To maintain the extreme off-road durability the Raptor brand is known for, Ford Performance upgraded their engines, the original engine's exhaust manifold, to cast a stainless steel design, including a unique oil cooler and filter, plus a deeper oil pan, which will enable it to tackle aggressive grades while keeping the engine oil cool. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about that Ford really thought through. It wasn't just let's get this out here so we can roll with the TRX. It's let's think this through, and with our integrity that we have, to make sure this the best version that Ford Performance can give us. Also, to help the engine breathe better, the air intake volume is increased by 66% via a wider air intake inlet and a high flow, higher efficiency conical air filter. So to be able to tackle the more brutal off-road environments, Ford upgraded the base truck's transmission and driveline to help ensure the Raptor R can smoothly handle what this V8 can throw at it. Raptor R delivers a 10-speed select shift transmission, as I mentioned, with improved calibration. It features a new front axle with a more robust, higher strength carrier casting and aluminum rib structural cover to manage the powertrain's added torque. The 640 pound-feet of torque is phenomenal. You know, you see me throw more performance packs on the Gen 2 or the Gen 3 Raptors to try to beat those up. That's nothing like throwing an additional 200 pound-feet of torque to one like the Raptor R did. A specially tuned torque converter with heavy-duty turbine dampener and 4-pinion rear output assembly makes the truck even better equipped to transfer that torque and provide a smoother powertrain feel when both driving on and off road. It is the truck of all trucks. Drivers now get even more control over how the Raptor R expresses additional power, courtesy of unique dual exhaust system. As you heard, the exhaust sounds incredible. You cannot duplicate or replicate that supercharged V8 sound. There's no doing it other than just doing it, y'all. It has a true pass-through muffler and active valve system with modes for normal, sport, quiet, and Baja. Obviously, real deal is going to be in the sport and Baja for most of the time, but normal still sounds gnarly, and quiet if you're in the neighborhood where you just don't want to bother those neighbors. But these can be adjusted in the My Mode feature, allowing drivers to customize those multiple settings, including drive, your steering, suspension modes, and others. And you can save those now. On the steering wheel, there's a R button where you can save all of your favorite parameters, where you can just hit the R button and you're ready to roll in whatever mode you like best. Now, without further ado, we're going to go back outside and do a more hands-on inside and outside look at the aesthetics and overall function and features on the Raptor R. Thanks so much. So here we go, the 2023 Akins Ford F-150 Raptor R. Again, 700 horsepower. You're never going to hear me get tired of saying that. An incredible statement of a vehicle all the way around. The Gen 3 is the baddest Raptor that I've put my hands on, and now with this engine, it is truly the truck of all trucks. Want to go over some of the key aesthetic differences between the typical Gen 3 Raptor. They're listening to us. I'm telling you, we've got a Gate Black on the front grille on all Raptor R versions. We even have a Gate Black upper and bottom portion, as well as a unique black front bumper. The bumpers on all the Raptor Rs is this more of a matte finish. It looks a little more toned down. There's still some flake in there, but in comparison to the a Gate Black paint on the grille, it's definitely slightly different. And of course, I'm a little bit sour about the R there. It's a code orange R, not the race red, but you know, Ford went to that with the Gen 3s, and it still has that performance inspired theme to it. Tow hooks, code orange as well, with the gray skid plate as usual. Front bump pads are still textured. Behind and surrounding your rigid LED light kits, which they now incorporate on the Gen 3. Gen 2, you had an open hole there, a void that we like to put our own additional aftermarket lights, but a great factory option right there nonetheless. And here on the side, you can tell this is not that typical gray look, but definitely more of a black side fender flares to match that front bumper. And up top, slightly different heat extractor with the Raptor and R in code orange. Love the graphics. I'm actually liking these graphics. Supercharged V8 with a bunch of number 8s throughout the entire, and there is a V hidden in the side graphics as well. Coming through your side heat extractor, still textured. Mirrors are still textured on your connecting pieces. And 111, 150 is our total MSRP. Here are our options on this particular unit. Here's the side graphics I was talking about. You've got 8s everywhere. You've got Raptor and then just the R. I guess it's like the American flags. You always want it to be facing a certain direction. So the R on this side on the Raptor portion is the code orange. And then there's obviously, again, there's a V hidden in the side graphic to go along with it. The applique out back is the traditional textured grayish look, but the Ford letters now are a matte black finish in your F-150, and then the Raptor here is a darker black finish with the R in code orange. You can tell it's the R how the exhaust is slightly different. It's a little bit thicker as far as the sidewall, and of course that sound is distinctly notorious. Here this looks better to me. Raptor with the R at the back, it just kind of flows better. On the other side, it's like the R on the front is red, so especially if this was a code orange, the R would almost blend, so it'd be like Raptor. So just haven't seen a code orange Raptor R yet, but that's going to be interesting to see how that lays and looks on the code orange. But I think you got to leave the graphics almost. Maybe we can delete just this front portion here on this door and just leave this backer part there, but I'm not mad about the graphics. I think it definitely is a distinction. And while we're talking about graphics, I like the Raptor R. I like what they've done with it, but to me, I wish they could have done a little bit more to separate it, to make it distinctly different from the Gen 3 Raptor. But that's kind of a cliche because the Gen 3 Raptor is truly incredible. They didn't do much changes to it on the outside or inside besides the powertrain, but that's just a nod to how great this Gen 3 is. They've just taken each generation and just layered it on top of each other, making it that much better time and time again. So much love to Ford Performance and Ford Motor Company. We are so blessed to carry the brand here. I've been for so long, but again, just maybe some more distinct differences as far as outside appearance would have been a benefit to just make it even more unique. Maybe even some different body panels or fender flares or different variations as far as grille or bumpers to make it distinctly say and showcase that, man, I can tell from a distance that this is not the regular Gen 3 Raptor, but the Raptor R. We now have black 17-inch beadlock capable wheels, and we're on 37, so essentially the same package as our 37 package, but now standard with the Raptor R, but in a black wheel finish instead of that gray finish. Our Raptor R shocks have gotten a little more black love instead of having more orange in them on the front as well as the rear. Our side running boards are essentially the same, more black and less orange for the Raptor R. And of course, as I mentioned earlier in the video about how they are specifically tuned and balanced, and spring rate is different to handle that added power. Now let's jump on the inside. On the interior, we get a lot of carbon fiber and the black effects throughout. They added just more black. Black is the predominant theme on the Raptor R, and you can definitely tell. We got the 37 package Recaro seats in all black. I love this variation. Black throughout. Looks amazing, and the Alcantara suede is on the back portion as well as your seat there. You have some black leather located in that area there, and I love that Raptor R logo. It looks amazing and buttoned up, and the Recaro seats are so comfortable. This is the most comfortable seat I've ever sat in any vehicle, so take that to notice. Truly incredible, and we're talking about a off-road performance truck at that. My sun is really bad right now, so I got to move this thing. So a great opportunity to if that don't fire you up, I don't think you're really living, because just cranking that up is epic in itself. Let's ride. Much better, got it turned around so the sun's not glaring on us. You can see carbon fiber accents everywhere, and it's even a different shade of carbon fiber than the ones in my wife's 37 package as well. It's just a slight variation, even some black here. Steering wheel looks the same, have black on the Ford script there. Love that. Code orange to center it up, code orange stitching throughout, code orange on the side. Even this portion here is a slightly different color than the standard Gen 3. So just a blackout effect throughout, and I really love it. I wish they had these on the non-Rs. It just has that really dark feel to it. It's a premium, elegant luxury. Now I want to show you drive mode. So the drive mode button is located here. You can push here for the electronic locking rear differential. You have 4 automatic, which I love if it's snowy or icy conditions, 4 low if you're in a jam, and 4 high trailer brake control. So this dial here, you twist this, I'm going to show you, and it's going to go, you can see the miles per gallon. We haven't driven it very much, but we've got to do a research on that, because I think we can do a little bit better. But we'll twist the dial here to change our drive mode. And I love how it changes the whole vibe of the gauges. There's normal, sport, one of my favorite, and it'll also change the 4x4 mode and your exhaust mode, as well as the steering mode. As you can see in this lower corner here, what we're in sport exhaust, sport on as far as your electronically controlled dampeners, and sport as far as your overall steering feel. And the gauges go to white. We're going to go again over to tow haul. You get a yellow theme, and it's going to again change parameters to give you the best tow haul package in this mode. And then going on again to slippery conditions. I love the blue, I love the rain. Amazing graphics on this full LCD screen. No analog gauges whatsoever anymore. Keeping along with the theme of off-road. Again, going to get a little more gnarly as far as 4 high, locking that rear differential out back. So we're ready to tackle the off-road terrain. And then my favorite, we got Baja mode. 4 high, Baja throughout as far as our dampeners, steering, and exhaust mode. And let's give a little exhaust listen. From the inside, you still can just hear it rumble. Lastly, we have rock crawl, which is again going to go to 4 low. We got to shift it to neutral for that. So I'm going to toggle this back to normal mode. Within this, I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but we do have the Raptor R mode, what I told you about earlier, where you can dial in the exact fittings that you like. That way you're getting the best overall easy steering, suspension, and drive mode, exhaust mode for you. Lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control are these 2 buttons found in this location. And again, exhaust, dampeners, and steering. And then the buttons, paddle shifters located on both sides. They have a very premium feel to them. They did a great job with that throughout. Within our infotainment here in our cluster, you have fuel economy, trip odometer. I'm going to go back to our menu items. And again, trip gives us trip 1, 2, seatbelt information, and fuel economy and driver assistance. I typically in ours stick in this Raptor info section here because it's got the Raptor status, which is going to give us a full scope look of all of our off-road and exhaust, suspension, dampener, differential modes, as well as our degree of our steering, for just a great optimized way to get a quick glance at all the information that you're needing. My gauges can show a variance of different things like oil temp, engine, oil temp, air change temperature, transmission temp, tire pressure, and then the off-road. Basically, your mile per hour and tack gets smaller, and then all of our degrees, left and right, front and back, are displayed on the center stack. A great way to have more confidence while off-roading. I love this power distribution button here because you see the grid lines there for all 4 wheels. So just say it's icy conditions or wet and your back tires start to spin, it'll show that, and then maybe you can adjust and get more traction towards the front, etc. Driver assistance, just a buku's amount of information right at your fingertips to make sure that you're educated and informed on how your Raptor R is handling no matter what you're doing. Towing, as far as our trailer information, trailer light status, and then our brake control as well can be integrated and adjusted at our fingertips. Settings is just our basic information as far as vehicle maintenance and other items. In my view, you can customize the top 4 items that you like to view most often. That way you can just quickly cycle through those. I typically like to have the digital speedometer on the other older versions of the infotainment, but now that the digital speedometer is right there inside, it is a great way to have all the information that you need right here inside the center stack. Now moving over to the 12-inch touchscreen with the Sync 4 system, by far the best infotainment system in the business. It's very responsive, very intuitive, very easy to use. You have our camera button up top, 360 camera, which you can hit this button and go to each individual quadrant to see what's going on at that selected area. Hit this button here and go to full front camera. We do a 180 if you're pulling out of a parking spot in a shopping center, etc. Have a bed camera, which I love to use, a trailer tow camera, a hitch camera for if you're hooking up, and then a full-on reverse camera with the grid lines that change as you move that as well. 360 camera though is a game changer, will save you, get you out of a jam. Up here at the top also we have parking locator, our hazards, traction control. I'm definitely gonna try that out. And then this button here is our Trail 1 control. You push the button to enable it, and then you use the set button to set the speed for the Trail 1 pedal drive. It's available in 4 high or 4 low. So essentially, this functionality is for if you don't want to have to use the accelerator, you can just focus on the steering. It'll set the speed that you want. Just say you want to go 4 miles an hour, you're trying to navigate over some rocks or terrain. You can set the speed to where you want it to, and then just focus on steering and braking. That's a great option, a great feature to help you with confidence while off-roading. You probably noticed there's no heated steering wheel button there. I'm a little bit sour about that because I do enjoy that. Even though we're in the South, heated steering wheel on a cool morning is a great benefit, but we do have heated and cooled seats. The digital cluster reading as far as our temperature is gone. We still have dual climate control. You can see more black even located here. So great functionality. Love the Sync 4. Pro Trailer Backup is a great addition. And this button here will make this fold away nicely. And then you have access and use of this workstation that flips over. So if laptop need to eat on the go or whatever you may choose to use it for, a great way to have a multitasking center console area. Raise that back up and you're ready to rock again. Now we're going to turn her around and check out under the hood. All its glory right there, y'all. 3.8 liter supercharged 5.2 liter V8 powered by Ford. Truly epic and incredible. High flow cold air intake. The glorious and refreshing sight. Oh my gosh. There's been a lot of people that are trying to duplicate what we're doing here at Akins Ford and Willies as far as our customizations to all our vehicles, but especially the Gen 3 Raptor platform. So I'm not going to spill the beans of what we have planned for the Raptor R, but I can say that we are going to do lots of custom paint as always, but we're also going to dive deep into doing other things to help strengthen the integrity of the vehicle from a suspension standpoint as well as a powertrain standpoint, along with think about bumpers, think about wheels and tires, additional lighting, even an Overland style vibe, even more items that are going to improve the everyday drivability of this vehicle. We have big plans for the plentiful amount of Raptor Rs that we have coming to us very soon, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be unbelievable. To get to do reviews like this is truly amazing to me. I'm so grateful and thankful for Akins Ford and Willies here in Winder, Georgia. We are your source for everything Raptor and everything Ford Raptor. Stay tuned for more as we take these Raptor Rs and elevate them to another level, if you can imagine, with our Indo Edition package. We're going to do suspension mods, strengthening all those underside components, as well as beefing up the components that the supercharger could leave vulnerable as far as all that power, and also adding a little bit more power. You know your boy has got to add a little bit more power, so stay tuned for that. And of course, our paint packages and wheels and tires that are more performance inspired and centered for the everyday driver on the concrete, a concrete warrior, or the true off-roader that wants to take this thing out and really see what it's capable of off-road. So for all that and more, hit that subscribe button. We are the perfect storm to be the Raptor King and across the entire country because of our resources that Akins Ford presents. Man, we're knocking on the door for its #1 as far as overall Raptor sales. Been doing this for a couple of years now, leading the way for making performance-inspired vehicles even better. That's what Willies at Akins is all about, and that's what your boy Real Deal Neal is about. Hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this, give me a like and a thumbs up, as that YouTube algorithm loves the thumbs up. They love the comments, and I'm here to answer all your questions. So anything you got, hit me up. I'll give you a shout back with a quick response. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. Peace out.